I would love to ask a question. How many of you have ever, once in your life, has ever wanted to be like somebody? You've ever wanted to be like, you saw a person up there, all right, in a certain view, that you wanted to be like this person, and then while you're growing up, you discover that, oh, you don't want to be like this person, you want to be like someone else. And then in the next 2 years, you see another person, you want to be like this person, and you want to be like this person, and then there are a whole lot of persons you want to be like, right? All right. So I want to be talking on something I happen to understand. So I'll take you through a brief story. Um, Many years ago, or not many years ago, a few years ago, I happened to have the opportunity to teach a group of young persons, right? And while in that room, I asked certain questions. I asked them certain questions, and there was one simple question they were not able to answer in that room. The first question I asked was, okay, what do you want to be? And some said they want to be doctors. And I asked some, and they said they want to be teachers, they want to be educators, they want to be preachers, and the rest. Okay, where do you want to go to? Some I want to go to the UK, some I want to go to South Africa, the Netherlands, and so many places. But the moment I asked this one simple question, there was stone silent in the room. I asked this one simple question: who do you want to become? Now there was this stone silence here, and I believe for every one of you sitting down here, if I ask that same question, it will take you a long amount of time for you to begin to think, or you to begin to agree with a certain term that this is who you are becoming, or this is who you are. All right. So when I asked this question, it became heartbreaking for me, because these students, it wasn't that they were not intelligent. No, it was not that they were not smart. It was not that they were not handy. They were one of the most amazing set of students I've ever met in my life. Super intelligent. All right. But what was the problem here? They were being taught everything, but they were not taught that one simple thing that was expected, or is the initial framework of every human involvement. What is that? Who are you becoming? Right? They were not taught that very simple framework. Who are you becoming? And for every leader that I've seen up there, every top 1% of leaders that I've seen up there, the likes of Bill Gates, the likes of Jeff Bezos, the likes of Mandela, leaders in history, these persons did not go up there by trying to be a copy and paste leader, right? They all found something that kept them solid. They all found something that kept them, that kept their foundation strong, very, very strong. All right. Now let's talk about the problem. We are taught to become something, but we are not taught to become someone. We are taught to become something, but we are not taught to become someone. And this is where the problem is. This is where the problem is. I've seen so many creatives who skip originality just because they want to follow a trend. I've seen intelligent students skip a particular course they wanted to go for just because it did not fit into something that fits what we term as societal standards, right? Someone who wanted to become a doctor at some point because of societal standards, maybe school systems, and then he's now becoming a graphics designer, right? Now, so this is the problem I've seen. This is the problem I've seen. So now let me take you through the shift. All right, let me take you through the shift. We are no longer fully in the knowledge economy. We are no longer fully in the knowledge economy. We are no longer in the economy where what we know and who we know truly stands forever. We are no longer in that economy. We are now in what I call the identity economy. And the truth is, this economy didn't just start now. It has been the very framework and basis and foundation of human involvement. Right? So we are no longer in the knowledge economy, and the new currency that now thrive for every top 1% that you see there, right, is called the currency of identity. The currency of identity. All right? I took our time to study the likes of Bill Gates and the likes of Elon Musk, and then I discovered something. These people don't just create. They don't just create because they saw someone do something. They created because that was what they had within them. And from then on, they built. And what this did was that it created a shift. And because of this shift it created, there was many trends begins to evolve. So many trends begin to evolve. You now see so many persons wanting to become AI enthusiasts. You see so many persons wanting to become startup founders. You see so many persons wanting to become CEOs and these and that. Why? Because they found, or they saw someone out there, right, who did something that would influence them. So what happens in the society is this: we are being influenced by an idea that shifts us from the framework of identity to the framework of trends. I came up with a certain framework that has helped me and has helped so many numbers of persons I've worked with, from entrepreneurs to mentoring young persons to students to educators. And this framework has helped them to a certain level, both in the community I build and the people I lead and teach. I call it the framework of self-involvement. The first in this framework is what I call self-definition. Self-definition. Now, in self-definition, this is where you define your values, not being influenced by what someone else has done or who someone else is. This is where you define your value. Self-definition. Now, the second out of these three frameworks I came up with is called self-discovery. Now, this is more important because in self-discovery, you get to find the basis of your being, the basis of your personality. That is what self-discovery is about. All right? And then the last of it is self-expression. Now, this is where you come out boldly to show up with your ideas, to show up with your thought pattern, to show up with your uniqueness. About a month ago, I came across a content on social media. It baffled me because certain persons has built so much legacy on their identity that we no longer see the stupidity or the shame, right, in what it now pictures to the world. Now, not to call any names, but certain fashion industries, I came across a fashion industry who happened to publish or who happened to launch a bag. And this is not just any bag. It was a nylon bag, right? Like the leather you use in carrying pure water and the rest of it. And it was tagged on it with their logo, and then it was tagged 1.5 million US dollars, right? It was tagged with that on it. And then I got to learn something. So many persons began to go after this nylon bag. The same nylon bag we are using for, sometimes we don't even need to pay for it. You just get pure water and then we get the leather bag. But they use it. They pay for it rather. They pay for it, and then people begin to use it as instead of their usual fashionable bags. They begin to use it for fashion, begin to use it to stock their stores, stock their book, go to school, go to college, and the rest of it. Now, what was the difference in this? If I come up to you and then I give you a nylon bag and say, use this as your carry bag to classes. I believe some of us here are students. As you carry bags to classes, you would look at me as someone who is mentor, right? But these same persons, if they come up to you, right? Or if they come up to you and then they display these bags, because of the association their identity has rubbed off on that leather bag, they now have a sort of worth. They now have a sort of worth that people cannot look down on. And people would even rush to become or to identify with such identity. Now, this is what the identity framework is like, right? So my message to every young person here is this: don't rush after success. Don't rush after success. Look into whom you are becoming and what you are becoming, and then opportunities begins to chase after you. The value you've developed out of whom you are becoming begins to cause the world to chase after you. All right? So don't become who they say you are. Become whom you are meant to be. Thank you.